Okay. Well, we want to welcome everyone to the New Clientele Night. This is the Team Jonathan call, basically, where tonight we get a chance to actually meet and hear from some of the people that have come on our team lately. We've had a lot of great experiences, and the new ones seem to come in the store, come right into the door, and they're having some great experiences. Alex, I want to welcome Alex, who's my co-host tonight. And Alex is up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Really, he's in Clemson. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia area, but I'm in Decatur, Georgia. So perhaps to get us started, we could just say hello to everyone. If anyone want to say hello and introduce themselves and tell where you're from, it's an open forum tonight, and we're looking forward to hearing your experiences as well as your comments. So it's open. Who would like to introduce themselves to the
Marie, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Marie, good to have you here from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you.
Okay, we have okay, Marie has two devices on, I think.
Uh-oh.
Or at least okay, there's someone else have two devices on. All right, anybody there? My name is Bernard Dean. Actually, I came into this company actually through being a customer, just like most of you. I've been with Engage Global now for since last July. I had Jonathan Jones, a friend of mine, would introduce me to the products. He kept encouraging me to try the products. Many of you, just like me, when we first hear about products, we get introduced to so many products that we don't usually jump when people introduce us to new things because we've become accustomed to whatever traditional medicines or whatever we're on. But with me, I've always been interested in natural things, but it's not too many things out here I've been impressed with. Well, eventually, Jonathan kept telling me about Engage Global. He kept specifically mentioning the point of Microdaily. And Microdaily, I'd heard a little bit about it, but I wasn't really that interested. But eventually, actually, I decided, along with my wife, to actually try the product. My first week and a half trying Microdaily was absolutely phenomenal. When I say phenomenal, I just started taking it up. And if I decide I'm gonna do something, I'm pretty committed to it, dedicated to it. So I was taking it twice a day. I had the Microdaily EMF, and I started taking that along. Well, I decided to get the premium. So I had the Microdaily, the collagen, and the brain boost. And after I started taking it for about 2 weeks, I know as a firefighter, former firefighter, as well as I'm a paramedic, I started noticing I was getting a little bit of energy. My wife and I was walking around the block 3 times every other day. And I noticed after about a month, I started walking further and further and further. The next thing I knew, I was actually walking 3 miles. And my wife has a little walker that tells how far you walk. I actually started working 3 miles every other day. Now, what was significant about this? What was significant was I didn't just come off the fire department because of retirement age. I came off because I got hurt on the fire. And I had my quads were totally separated. My leg at the knee went out straight horizontal to, and the results were also my Achilles heel on my right foot was totally separated. So what I did was I went to the hospital. I wound up in the ICU because of internal bleed. And when I came out, I retired because of the circumstance. And it was very difficult for me every day, being in pain every day. So when I got Microdaily, I had no inkling that this was a new journey that would lead me to where I am today. So after I started taking the products, I started feeling better and better and better. I called Jonathan up and I said, you know, something about these products is different than anything that I've ever used. And the results were, I actually turned it over to Alex. I called Alex Holcomb, friend of mine, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have what they call mentally. I'm just thinking, this thing is working. So I said, well, let me talk to a friend of mine, which is Alex Holcomb, and let me send him some products, and let's see whether Alex feel any difference. And Alex, when I sent you the products, what happened? Unmute, Alex.
Well, after you had told me about the company and what you were doing, and you said, this made me feel so good. However, it wasn't until either you or Jonathan mentioned that we got a product called Brain Boost. I said, really? I want to hear about that one. Tell me about that one. All right. And then eventually I got that product. A couple of days later, I tried it. And the next day I had a presentation to make. And in the presentation, usually I would come across a point where I would get a little confused. I never lost where I was, but I would get a little confused. Okay, now this is part A, this is part B. But at that moment, after I took that Brain Boost that morning, I only took one capsule. It was so powerful. I had an epiphany right there on the stage. My mind went from foggy to super clear, focused, and sharp. Now, mind you, I had tried other brain products before learning about Brain Boost from Engage Global. But this, it was something I had never experienced before in any products. And I had to take a second look because the rest of the presentation I was making, it worked out just fantastic. And it's been on key ever since, because I take this Brain Boost every day. And I love being sharp, observant, and quick. And that's what it did for me. But there are other products too that I started to take, like the Eye Boost. I always had really good eyesight, but my good eyesight greatly improved. I was so happy about that. And because I never wore glasses, and I already decided I will never wear glasses. Well, now with this Eye Boost, it has put the ceiling on my determination. And of course, there were other good results from just the Micro Daily itself. Those little capsules, they're powerful. One of the immediate effects for me, I started getting into a deep sleep. I mean, the sleep was so deep, I went back in time in my dreams, like when I was a much younger man, whereas now I'm pushing the past retirement. I was having dreamed like I was back a young teenager. I would wake up in the morning, man, I want to go play basketball, because that's always been my love. And it didn't used to be that way. And I would wake up and it would be like, hey, okay, it's time to do something else now. It was no, I need another hour, man. No, it was like, okay, we're done, let's go. And I said, wow, I love it. So there's so many things, Bernard, but I'm gonna tell you, this is like a fountain of youth. Let me end with that note.
Well, I said the same thing, Alex. Everybody asked me, well, what is it so outstanding? I said, well, every day I wake up, I feel like a teenager. And it's kind of funny because I was out doing some volunteer work not too long ago, and there's a bunch of steps, and everyone refused to go up the steps to the place I was going. And I said, well, I go up the steps, and I went up. And what was interesting, it was going almost straight up, and I was doing it without actually having to hold on to the rails. And when I came back down, everybody looked at me, was like, man, you're in good shape. And of course, I want to tell them, well, actually, if you got on Micro Daily and you got on that system, that you'll be able to go up those steps too. But in time, I'll hopefully be able to introduce it to some more people. So this is Alex and my personal story. These stories are real. People don't pay us to come on here and tell you these stories. And I've noticed I have a team. All of us are part of Jonathan's team, but I have my team, and Alex, you have your team. And Alex, you mentioned there are people that call you up with these stories that are somewhat hard to believe. And that's what Thursday nights are about, people. We don't look for a whole hundreds and hundreds of people. We bring our personal team here together, and it gives you an opportunity to share what your experience have been with your Micro Daily or Engage Global products. And it gives us an opportunity to be able to actually have an interchange of encouragement when it comes to using these products that's absolutely changing people's lives. So keeping that in mind, we're going to once again open it up. If we have any new ones here that perhaps, and anything you want to ask, this is your family, this is your team. We're all part of one family here. Anything you would like to share in the way of experiences, and that's not just new ones, anyone on here, all of these are built in to help you to understand you're not alone when it comes to using your products. Should you decide to not only build your health, but also build a business we're there for both sides of the pendulum. So James is going to get us started. James, I know when I first came on, you were already here, and I've always enjoyed your comments. So what do you have to share with our new clientele here on our Thursday night program?
I used to be sickly off and on, but I noticed when I started taking tobacco daily, hydro, eye boost, and brain boost, I started to feel better. And now I can truly say, for almost a year, I haven't really had nothing major happen to me. Like before, I used to be real sick, but now I feel much better.
Excellent, James. I am so happy to actually hear that. I always love to hear your experiences because you always have a little vibrant look on here. I love you with that tie on too, and something about that tie. I feel like that we're brothers.
Yeah.
All right, then. So thank you so much for sharing that one, James. And James got us started. So the floor is open for anyone that would like to share their experience, questions, or anything else. We're encouraging people as far as experiences, but this is open, especially to new clientele, and perhaps we could share some thoughts together. So the floor is open. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, while you're thinking about your new experiences, how about, Jonathan, we have a testimonial that we want to play, and we want to basically help you to appreciate how Microdaily has helped other people. Go ahead, Jonathan, go ahead and play the video. And please, when you, if you have an experience, please feel free to share it. We'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hi, Dr. Prasad and Jonathan. I wanted to say that, a lot of times people feel like, young people don't go through a lot, but I did. In my early 20s, I used to have severe pain, and I almost lost one of my 2 children, or they wanted to deliver her like 5 months early because I was in so much pain, but didn't know why I was in a lot of pain. And I was diagnosed with severe endometriosis. I had chronic pain day in, day out, and not natural bleeding that women go through. And I was also diagnosed with osteoarthritis. I had it really bad in my neck and my spine, and it crippled me. I was feeling like I've been electrocuted. Shocks just would go down my neck and back, and I couldn't move. And it would come out of nowhere at any given time, no matter where I was at. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had those, oh my God, from head to toe, I was in pain. Rheumatoid arthritis, and I developed PTSD. When I used to live in Houston, Texas, I was coming home one day from work, and like they got kidnapped, human trafficking. And from there, I developed what Freddie mentioned, agoraphobia, a fear or a form of anxiety. I didn't want to leave my home because I was afraid of that happening again. And I was placed on several different medications for anxiety, depression, insomnia, because I couldn't sleep. Like Freddie, just thoughts just running through my mind, fear, worries, day in and day out. And I just needed help. And I was telling my whole family, I have a large family, 7 sisters and 5 brothers. And my brother Alex and the rest of my family was encouraging me to continue to pray and try to look for things, and they would be looking for things. And I never forgot the scripture that I read. In fact, I read it this morning, 1 John 5:14-15. It tells us, if you ask Almighty God, whatever you ask him, he hears you. And if your prayers are in harmony with his will, he will answer you. And so I continued to pray and ask for help, because I was in the bed all the time, constantly in a lot of pain and hurting. And I just didn't have quality of life. And I was young, and in my 20s on up until now, I had continued to hurt. And so finally, when my brother discovered Dr. Prasad's products, he told me about it. I got on them. And I tell you, they work. When I got on the CBD, because I read what it's for anxiety, it's for insomnia, pain, depression. And those are things that I had, and I needed that. And so when I got on them, that's what I felt gave me my life back, because even today, I haven't even taken none of my products, including my CBD. And
Wow.
normally when it rains, because it's been raining all here all day today, either the day before, I start hurting so bad, head to toe, but no pain. And it's raining outside, no pain. Oh my God, I just was so happy that
Wow.
I'm not hurting head to toe. And I tell anybody, you know, these products are the real deal. They really work. And Dr. Prasad, I just wanted to tell you, there's some words to a song that say, if you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because I'm looking at you. The world is looking at you, Dr. Prasad, and you are beautiful to us. We thank you for all the products, because they really, really help. I went through so much in my life, losing a lot of family members. I lost my husband, my parents, and 3 of my siblings, several of them due to cancer. And that took me for a loop. And I'll tell you one thing, being on the CBD and increasing it and all, it helped me, because I've been driving since I was 15 years old. And I was not, the last 8-9 years, I haven't been able to go outside and get in my car and drive my own car. And just last week, I went to get in my car. My brother came and gave me a jump, because I don't go many places. And he gave me a jump. He said, come on, let's go around the block. And normally if I drive out of, you know, the neighborhood I live in, that's when my anxiety come on, and it's so bad. It makes like I'm about to have a heart attack, and I go to shaking and sweating and going on. But I noticed that that didn't happen. I drove out of my neighborhood, drove several blocks down the street, and I just tears just swelled up in my eyes, because I realized that this CBD is really working for me, and I might get my life back and be able to drive and be independent. You don't know how it feels to be independent and be able to get in your car and go wherever you want to go and not have, you know, that hindrance, and to be able to get out your bed and want to be around people. I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to stay in my house, perfectly happy staying in my house. But if I had to go anywhere, I had anxiety attack because of having to go outside of my house. But I noticed it's getting so much better, and I'm starting to have better quality of life. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Prasad, and I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Prasad.
I can't believe it.
I'm practically in tears. I'm blown away here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you know, these kind of people get help what we have. I think you and I and everybody should be proud of that. The product that I developed has having so much impact on life. I would have been happy even it changed one life.
Yes.
I mean, how many people can
nonstop.
change one life, you know?
That's right. That's right.
And
No,
so,
you're changing thousands, and I think you're going to change millions, my friend.
yeah, so I think thank you very much.
It's overwhelming and it's unbelievable.
I mean,
All righty. People, when I heard this experience, it touched me. Alex, what about you? Because you were part of the experience that they're referring to. In fact, that's one of your relatives. Is that correct?
That's correct, Bernard. In fact, that's my sister. And I remember telling her about it, as well as the rest of the family. And what it has done for her is fulfillment of the hopes I had to help my family stay away from the doctors. And that's what has happened.
Wow, wow. And see, isn't that powerful? Give them a hand. Isn't that powerful to hear this? Because this is the reason why so many people now are rejoicing they've actually found this company,
Yes.
these products, the results that they're getting, they're real and they're changing lives. So in that respect, Alex, I want to thank you, first of all, for exposing these products to Sharon. I talked to her yesterday and today, in fact, and she is still doing absolutely wonderful. So thank you for sharing your sister, and keep on sharing it with people. Well, let's keep it going, people. Open up. Anyone would like to share their experiences? We are definitely open. There's an old saying that says, "Facts tell, but stories sell." So if anyone else either themselves had an experience or perhaps would like to share the experience of someone in their network, go ahead, Melanie. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you doing? So,
Doing wonderful.
wanted
Good to
to
have you with us tonight.
thank you. So I just
Yes.
wanted to share, kind of like give an update on my journey. I have been taking microdaily. I guess it's about maybe 2.5 months now, if that much. But because I did get off for a little while, for a couple of weeks for some reasons. But what I do notice is that I have like a fibroid. And I think I have more than one. Well, I do know definitely I have more than one, but I noticed that even now it's not as pronounced as it used to be. So I'm waiting to, get an ultrasound, but it does not feel the same. It's like it's flattened out even more. It's hard for me to even locate what was there in my lower abdomen area. So I'm very pleased with that, because I was just really concerned about it just, continue to grow and it may hit an organ and, cause other concerns that are there. So, but it's flattened out so much. And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe it, but I do believe it. Because I knew it. I just felt like it was going to happen just based on every other stories. And it just makes sense based on, what's in it. So what other results did I think was going to happen but this? So I'm very, very, and I'll give another update once I get my ultrasound. I'm trying to get that scheduled so I'll have true, numbers and everything of what that looks like to share with everyone.
Melanie, thank you so much for sharing. Sometimes some of these journeys are very, very tough for people. And a lot of times people take microdaily for one thing and wound up getting results in others. But the results usually, as one consistent denominator with, I notice everyone I'm hearing from, that common denominator is life is better than it was before they started taking microdaily. So what a beautiful experience. Thank you. We look forward to your update. I'm pretty sure it's going to be very, very interesting. So thank you for sharing. All right, let's move on. Is there anyone else would like to share a personal story before we perhaps play another testimony that could, one that I actually experienced and I'll tell you about, but I'm giving you an opportunity. We would love to hear from you. And there are a lot of people on here who have some beautiful experiences, I'm pretty sure. So let me give it about 30 seconds so that people can build up that little courage to share their story. Anyone else? We're open as far as a group to share our story. Okay, well, let's go to our Zoom host. Do you have that testimony ready to go? Don't play it yet, but if you have it ready to go, I'd like to share with you this next story that once I started getting results and Alex started getting results, I continued to share the products. And I came across a friend of mine, one of my best friends named Daryl. And Daryl is skeptical of everything. When I say everything, I'm talking about everything. And it took me a few months to get him to try it. But I kept telling Daryl, I said, Daryl, I think these products are going to help you to have a better quality of life. He said, I don't like taking damn things except what the doctors tell me to take. But after a little bit of begging, a little bit of prodding, he finally decided that he was going to give these products a try. Down one bottle. He said, I'll try one bottle of it. He said, but I'm going to do it because we're friends. But what was the results? Jonathan, do you have the experience of Daryl? When I finally got him to try it, I happened to go by his house one day. No, I didn't go by his house. He called me. He said, hey, Bernard, you need to come over here. I said, what's going on there? He said, no, you need to come over here. Where the first thing you think is, look, I gave him these products. I hope he's not coming over here because something happened to him and then, they look to sue you or something. But I said, it's got to be. I said, okay, I'm coming over. And when I came over, Daryl told me a story, and I'd like to share it with you. Go ahead and play his story, John.
I'm Daryl Singleton. Bernard came to me and told me, I was out of breath a lot, losing air, couldn't speak that well because I was grasping for air. And then I had a lot of swelling, especially in my legs and feet. And it was hard to get him. So Bernard came with this stuff and told me, Daryl, you gotta try this out and take about 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. So I told him I would do it. I was skeptical about it, but my feet started going down and all the swelling went out of the feet. And they were kind of like black, the feet. And the color came back in the feet. The feet shrunk down and then my legs started going down. But I started feeling a lot of tingling in my hands because I had real big huge hands because of the swelling.
Wow.
All that started going down. What I've been noticing at first was my voice. I was able to speak and, complete a sentence because I wasn't doing else, so that kind of slowed me down. But other than that, everything, feet and swelling been going down. I've been able to walk. I would go to the grocery store and couldn't make it to the door. That's how bad it was. Now I'm able to walk around the grocery store and do what I need to do. I'm taking care of my triplets. I got triplets, grandkids that I stay with 3 times a week, and I take care of them. I couldn't even lift them up, and I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy, but I don't know. These things have been happening since I've been taking the stuff, and I'm impressed myself because I'm here talking to you guys without passing out.
Wow, Daryl, that's amazing. What's your diagnosis? What does the doctor diagnose you with, if you don't mind sharing?
No, I haven't. I hadn't been back to the doctor to explain this. I will be going there, but I don't know what they're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff works. We're real skeptical. I'm still feeling a little tingling in the hands and feet, but they actually went down. But I still feel like tingles. It's telling me something's working, something's happening.
Yeah, the circulation is restoring.
Oh yeah, you can tell that, and I'm able to bend down and tie my shoe.
Oh wow!
Because I wasn't able to tie my shoes.
Wow.
I wasn't able to put on a regular shoe because my feet were swollen. I wear a size 10.5, and I was wearing a 13 so just to get in some shoes.
My goodness.
You guys got to understand this. This stuff was bad. I mean, and I would sleep. I would try to sleep off the pain, and couldn't do it. But now, now I feel a lot better.
So it's a form of.
You see all this white hair?
Yeah.
That comes from pain. It comes from pain.
Yeah, stress.
Yeah, stress, pain, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the product works. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with it. I don't know what else to say to you, but hey, it's like a little miracle.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So, is it lymphedema? Is that what your doctor has said about your condition?
No, I had a lot of nerve damage. I had a total hip replacement, and that too, my hip was killing me. I had a total hip replacement, and then I was working on a piece of bone. piece of bone was like hanging on my head,
Yeah.
fitting to come out. Doctors were wondering why I was still working, but you know, I was taught that you work for your family till you drop, I guess.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they pulled me out of work and did the total hip replacement. Then I had some nerve damage in the lower lumbar and upper neck area. And I was having many strokes, stroking out, you know,
Mhm.
scaring my wife to death. So they did the operation on that. But you know, I was having a lot of nerve damage, and a lot of the swelling and stuff comes from nerve damage.
Mhm.
That's why I was a little skeptical about taking these, because I was telling Bernard, I said, this is nerves. You don't heal nerves, right? It's nerve damage, you know. So, you know, me and him go at it all the time. You know, Bernard, I've been knowing Bernard for about, it's been about 45 years.
Mhm.
And so me and him go back a way. So he's a very, very good friend of mine. I don't let people, I wasn't going to do this either. But I'm telling you, I'm doing it because he's a real good friend of mine and I trust him. So, you know, me and him is like real brothers. So, and that's why I'm on here today. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't see me.
Well, thank you very much. And Daryl, we're going to share your story with other people. So in fact, it's already being broadcast all over the place. So sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I'll jump on Bernard.
Okay. Thank you again.
Amazing story. And Daryl's been doing quite well. And once again, we're open up as far as if you would like to tell your story. I'm sharing these because we have a little bit of time in between. But before let's see, we have about 25 minutes left. Do anyone have any other personal stories they would like to share before I go interview someone that'll help us to appreciate why these stories exist? Anyone would like to share? Okay. Well, we have quite a few people that's on here tonight, and I believe in utilizing our time to the best that we can. So I'm going to ask our person to come on board, come up, because I think it's very important for people to realize why these products work so well. Now, there was something that was mentioned for the sake of everybody on here that I hope you caught. He said, the reason why I tried these products, and let me just see whether I can get an audience, somebody who caught this. He said, the reason why I tried these products was what? Did anybody catch what he said? Why did he try those products from me? I don't have any hands. Okay, okay, go ahead, Benjamin.
He said he trusted you.
He said he trusted, and something else that's true. And the bench okay, and I was his friend. Okay, thank you so much, Levette family. I was his friend. Levette family, do you have something else you want to put in there? Because there was quite a bit said in that.
I just really appreciated how you were not only his friend, he said you were his brother. You all were like brothers. You was a friend and a brother, and he trusted you, and that's why he was willing to, even though he was skeptical, he was willing to take the product. So that's excellent. That's why we have to, let people know, and that way, if we're someone that they really trust, they'll at least give it a try, and then they'll see that it works.
And we're friends. And thank you so much, Levette family. Levette family. What is important is when your friend takes these products, you make sure that they're taking them because you want the best results that they can get out of it. Well, and Jonathan, I think that's what you did with me, is you made sure that not only I bought the products, but you made sure that I took them right. And I think everybody on here, especially new people, have a question. And here's the question. We've taken these products all of our life. Some people 30, 40, 50, and I've even heard people in 70, 80, 90 that's coming on here saying how well the products is working for them. So perhaps in a way, since we have so many new ones that are on here tonight, and we can be a little shy, and that's fine. This is really so you can get a chance to see a little bit some of the working parts of specific parts of stories. And why did it happen for Sharon like this? Why did it happen for Daryl like this? Why did it happen for Melody like this? Jonathan, you were the beginning of our group, at least, in bringing these products to our attention. So why is it that people are getting such great results from these products?
All good questions, Bernard. And sometimes it's hard to say. I had a conversation earlier today with Dr. Prasad because we have a little chat where folks are asking what we call frequently asked questions. And when I get stumped, I just pick up the phone and call Dr. Prasad and say, hey, why is this happening? Why does this happen to folks? Why are they getting these kind of results? But, almost every single time, Bernard, it comes back to two things, actually three things. It involves a conversation about free radicals. It involves inflammation, and it involves oxidative stress. Those three things seem to always be in common with almost every single situation. And I hear Prasad say it over and over and over again. I hear Nakuzi say the same over and over again. Now, Nakuzi talks a little bit more about homeopathy, but the part that we all know is free radicals, oxidative stress, and inflammation. So you take Sharon, for example. Her story was just dramatic. And we all have maybe had some experience with microdaily, but she had CBD in her story. And it took me a while before I began to understand what CBD is, but CBD, every single cell in the body wants CBD. We have CBD receptors everywhere. And so her body craved it and responded to it very well. So it helped her deal with the anxiety. And who knew, even Dr. Prasad said he never even predicted that it would have an impact on severe anxiety and PTSD to that degree. And this man wrote a book on PTSD. So he was shocked. And I don't know, it could have been my imagination, but it looked like to me he was choked up there at the end of her story because he could.
I saw the same thing. I was amazed. I know I got a little choked up on it.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one. That was amazing to hear. But it takes exactly what each one mentioned about all of our relationships. If we hold back from telling something to somebody because we think that they're going to think that we're trying to sell them something,
right?
We could be doing them a disservice. But if we love them, tell them. What's the worst that can happen? They'll say no. I remember one day a friend of mine, this is years ago, I had another product, and a gentleman had AIDS, HIV positive. And I had a product that raised glutathione levels very, very well. And anybody who took that product, their glutathione level would go up, their T cells will go way, way up. And when T cells go up, viral count
goes down.
It goes down to undetectable levels. And so I sat with him. We were early morning. We were going out and doing some volunteer work. And I mentioned to him that this existed. He says, "Have you ever heard of Dr. Quelly?" And funny, Bernard, that I even remember that doctor's name. And maybe you're already starting to get that it etched a traumatic experience. It turned into a traumatic experience for me, so I never forgot it. He said, "Do you know Dr. Quelly?" He began to run down all of Dr. Quelly's accolades. World-renowned HIV specialist, blah, 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 and then blah, blah, and blah. He said, "Don't you think that if there was something out there would help me, Dr. Quelly would have told me about it?"
Wow.
He says, "I don't want to hear nothing about that ever again." Now, I personally gave his funeral talk about 10, 15 years ago.
Wow. Interesting. And so he turned it down and basically, and you know what? It's interesting you said that because a lot of times when you're excited about products, and we have a lot of people on here, we're talking about the health aspect, not the business, the health. when people first hear things, they're very, very skeptical. And I've had people that have actually called me lately and says, I really, really needed that. In fact, you had a person on one of your interviews that she decided to try the products, and her sister said, absolutely no. She said, you try it, but I'm not going to do it. And both of them had, I'm pretty sure you remember that one, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they both had the same thing going on with a heart problem.
Congestive
And one
heart failure.
decided, yeah, you remember that? I
Mhm.
was, when I heard it, I know some other people, the same thing.
Yeah.
The
It's
same
sad.
thing.
It's sad, Bernard, you have to say to yourself, and I hope that folks who are on the fence will say this: what do you have to lose?
Mhm.
Really, what do you have to lose? You already, your doctors have said that there's no chance of this resolving itself. Why not just try it? You know, just give it a try. And I remember, I mean, you dug in, and you dug in.
I dug it.
You dug in, but see, that's what happens with professionals. See, when and everybody needs to kind of understand this. A professional has been trained. They're trained and they know their craft. They know their business. And you come along and you're not as qualified of a professional as they are. So you literally lack the qualification to really be able to get past their level of qualification. But sometimes it's when you care about somebody, you just push past that. You just push past that and you keep going back. Don't let it daunt you. Don't let it, deter you. But I remember one time I said to you, Bernard, I said, so let me see if I got this right. You're going to try it and see if you get some results. And you're going to potentially let people that you care about die while you're trying to see if it works. Won't you give it at the same time? Give it to them at the same time.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the funniest deal. See, I've been a paramedic for 27 years, and I'm just one of those people that basically I wanted to see it before I actually introduce it to people, but it's not always the right frame of mind to do that. I do
Not
agree with
always, not always.
you. Not always.
Because, they could be getting the same results. And who knows? For some people, I hate to say it, it could be too late. It could simply be too late. Like here's Jackie telling her sister about it at the same time. Jackie Gray is her name. And she said, me and my husband checked it out. My sister had the same condition. I told her about it. I decided to try it. She decided not to. And her sister died just not even 6 months prior to her telling that story. Her sister died. And she's sitting there and the doctor just told her, it looks like your heart's repairing itself. And I just saw her recently, by the way. And so I've invited her. She's going to come and tell her story this coming Sunday, because this coming Sunday, Dr. Prasad going to be talking about the heart. She's
Wow.
This coming Sunday about her heart.
You know what's funny about that, Jonathan? Actually, I have a person too that this week they had to go do a heart check, catheterization, and to see whether they had blockage because they were having symptoms. And they actually went to the doctor Monday, and they had the procedure. And they called me up and they said, my doctor said something to me that they've been on microdaily now for about 8 months, 7 months. And they said, my doctor said something to me. My doctor says that he went in and she was telling me about how it curved, said that went all through the artery, they went through the wrist, went up into the heart, just around the heart, arteries around the heart. She says, I do have a one total block. And she said, could be been contributing to my breathing hard back when. She said, I told him I don't have any chest pains anymore. I don't have any breathing problems. And the doctor says, well, what's interesting about your total block is your heart have repaired itself. She said, what? He says, where it was blocked at, the artery actually took, and then it said it created another pathway to the part of the heart that was being blocked. And there's no need for you to put a stent in it now because it has been repaired. He said, I don't know how, but it repaired itself. Now, it's interesting you said this, because you can't really talk people into things. There's no demerit to them.
Right.
I think it's a matter of they've been introduced to so much junk
Yeah.
You're just part of the junk
Yeah.
that they're hearing from other people.
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that, Jonathan? When and everybody's on here, they love the product. Melanie came out with a beautiful way of a beautiful thing of what's going on with her. How, if ever, how do you overcome someone and separate from the masses of junk that's being introduced to people out here? How do you get people to really try? You can't get everybody, but how do you in general get people to try this? How do you do it?
What I do is I try to target the area that the person themselves are specifically interested in. So, and sometimes I'll ask them very kindly ahead of time, if there was something out there that could help you, with that bad knee or that knee pain or that arthritis pain or that kidney problem or that liver problem or that eye problem or that whatever problem, if there was something out there that could help you, would you be interested in hearing about it? And they will say, oh, I've heard about everything and I've tried everything. I say, I'll follow it up and I'll just say, well, but if there was something that potentially could help you, would you want to know about it? And they'll either say yes, or they'll say no. If they say yes, how do they say it? There's old expression, you got one chance to make a first impression. So now you have to really be selective and careful as to what it is that you will choose to give that person as their first impression of the thing that they've never heard of before, because they claim that they've heard of everything. So what I often will do is I will take a story like Sharon's story and I'll share that with them, or one of Dr. Prasad's conferences, the one that's closest related to them. And I would usually say to the person, listen, just listen to the first 15 minutes of this discussion. That's how I do it. I say, just listen to the first 15 minutes of this discussion, and then you decide whether it's something that you want to check out or not. And guess what, Bernard? If the first 15 minutes catches their attention, there's another 45 minutes that can educate them. Wow.
Jonathan, that's amazing. And obviously it's worked for you, because you have quite a few thousands actually in the last 6-7 years that have come on this program. And from what I hear with you, a lot of people don't necessarily accept it now, but would you say that they remember this conversation sometime down the line and give you a call back?
Will. Yes, they will. If you give the impression, that you're desperate and that you're desperately trying to sell them something here right now, like your next light bill is dependent upon them buying the product right now, that your car is dependent on them buying it right now, then unfortunately nobody wants to be your next check. But if you give them the impression that it really is all about them, you really care about them, and it really is a concern for them, then they're likely to respond. So I believe it's all about information. I think folks, if they're given enough information and you're patient enough, people will make a decision based off knowledge. So share the information with them. Let them hear what other people have been experiencing. And sometimes a text message with a link to a testimonial. Another text message a week or two later, a month later, with another testimonial. I know somebody, real good friend of mine that I've known for 40 years. I waited 5 or 6 years before he got some sense. before he decided to.
Jonathan, you know what? You've talked about me enough. Jonathan, let me say this one right here. And here's what's interesting too. There's two things with the new people, because we only have 9 minutes. I want these calls to really be beneficial for our networks, our people, to go out and talk about these products. There's two things I want to ask you. Number one is basically, what products do you recommend? That person absolutely, sometimes the Dr. Prasad is a wonderful product, but sometimes people just have a cost factor sometimes come in. Yeah. So some of the people on here may wonder, if you had to recommend to someone the basic products to try and to get on it and commit, for a while, what would you say would be the best basic products for everybody on here to introduce to their people? Because in time you can add to. And
If you're seriously on a budget, Bernard, if a
seriously
person-
on a budget.
seriously on a budget, I absolutely will go with what Dr. Prasad formulated for the United States military soldiers.
Mhm.
That's the basic one. If a person is on a serious tight budget, I teach them how to use Micro Daily Original Formula. And I don't waste time telling them about how much better the methylated is or how much better the EMF is. All we focus our undivided attention on is Micro Daily Original. And then sometimes I may give them some suggestions as to how to change their diet and other ways to maximize their benefits, from the product. But if it's about a budget, start with Micro Daily Original. Add to that the probiotic, because if your gut is right, your brain will get right. Then I would
Which is
add to
true.
that, I would add the brain boost to that, because let me tell you,
The
I
brain
dare,
is
I
something
dare
else.
you to take 2 brain boosts in the morning. I dare you.
Wow.
And I dare you to take 2 more at lunchtime. You lit up. You lit up.
That's funny. Wow. And I'm hoping, of course, I'm gonna take, we only take maybe 2 or 3 more minutes to talk about this, and then maybe the last 5 minutes, if anyone have any question, we'll open that up to them. But also, people, it is very important. I need everyone on here to understand. It is very important to kind of nurse people through their experiences with
Yes.
their products.
Yes.
That's what separates us really from anything out here, is when you really give attention to them. Right now, I have someone that's been on Dr. Prasad, and I told them today, the person told me, they said they had trouble sleeping and all, and they said, I don't go to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were on a call, like that. And it was the funniest deal, because I would get out the call. He said, I know why you calling me. So that was the funny thing. One of the things that people asked me too, they said, well, nursing along the way, why is it important? And perhaps maybe just a comment or two on this. Sometimes I have people that say, you know what, I've been on these products 30 days and I don't feel anything. Have you ever heard anybody say that, Jonathan?
Yes, I do. Yes, I've heard
a
it.
question I always ask them, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm really asking them this. I said, well, did you feel when you developed high blood pressure? Did you feel when you were getting your heart problems? Did you feel when you were getting your diabetic? Did you feel when you were going to the room forgetting why you were there? I said, now, if you have developed the last 40, 50, 60, 70 plus years to get to this condition, do you feel it's really fair for you to only give this product a month and you don't feel what you're looking for when the product is developed to work on a cellular level? Give me some final comments on what you think about that.
I 100% agree, because there's no indicator light on our body. See, when we're driving our car, you see the oil pressure light. The light comes out, the temperature gauge even tells you when the car is reaching a point where it's overheating. But our body, sometimes you don't know that you have a disease until you wake up on a gurney sometimes. That's when it manifests. In fact, there's a gentleman, I just heard a terrible story about a student pilot who was flying, and he invited his friend, who was an instructor, flight instructor, to come along with him because
I saw that one.
conditions weren't so good. Bernard, the man
Yeah.
gave him instructions as they took off, and he fell asleep. So the student pilot thought that the instructor fell asleep. By the time he landed, that man had a massive heart attack. He was dead.
He was dead sitting next to him. Matter of fact, they had to guide him in. They had to guide the student in because he was dead.
He's dead. So there was nothing that told him, by the way, in the next 45 seconds, you're going to drop dead because your heart going to stop beating. So every one of us needs to realize something. Tomorrow's not promised. The next 10 minutes is not promised. And today, life is even more precarious than it has ever been before. Time bombs have been dropped inside our food. Time bombs have been dropped in our water. We're breathing time bombs. It's in our body, just waiting to go off. If we're not doing something right now to diffuse it, then we just wait for the statistics.
That's kind of funny you say that, because usually by the time you feel something, it's too late.
It's too late.
That's usually when you're second, third, fourth stage of
You're on the
whatever
way
is
to the
taking
ground.
place.
You're on
You're
your way to the ground.
But I have to say, some of the things I've been hearing in our calls, and those of you that have had the concern to be on the calls, when I heard about how Micro Daily gives us our cells the strength to fight viruses and bacteria and stuff. And I was wondering why so many of my people, it doesn't stop you from getting the viruses and all, but what it does, it helps the ride to be with less turbulence. it gives a lot less turbulence to it, get a lot of fight to it.
You
And
got
all of my people have
fight
said
now.
that when they develop this, they have a shorter stage of the sickness.
Exactly.
So a lot of stuff coming out of this. I'm hoping that everybody on here is getting a point or two about the gold that they got in their hand. You have gold, G-O-L-D. You have gold.
Yes, indeed.
And
Yes,
why are you trying to beg people to share your gold? You have to look for people that's looking for you.
That's right.
Okay, Jonathan, but I think we've almost run out of time here. Maybe, do anyone have a question or two for Jonathan before we say goodnight? Go ahead, Kenny.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, sir.
Remember me? Hey, listen, we haven't had the opportunity to talk. However, there's some very important things I would like you to ask Dr. Prasad. Now, instead of talking about it here, because the words I can't, they're chemical stuff, and I can't really read them all that well, and I'm not trying to embarrass myself here. Anyway, would it be okay if I either email you or text you these particular chemicals, and then maybe you can get the results I'm looking for?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't know if I've given you my email address or not, but it's real easy. It's eg@jonathanejones.com. And we'll put that in the chat. Okay.
There you go.
Sounds great. I will be sending that off before the end of the day.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
All
Sir.
right.
Thank you.
Alex had a question before too, Bernard. You want to see
go
if
ahead.
you're on the edge, Alex?
Alex like talking muted.
I had a very short testimony video I wanted to show. It takes about 2 minutes, but we could save it to next time because I can see how time has ran out.
Yeah, if you got it, that'd be wonderful to show that on Thursday, next week, Thursday. That'd be great.
Okay, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's it can wait to then, and that'll be great because it's an awesome experience, and it's one that's been out there for a long time.
Wow.
That most people have not seen yet. So let's do it next Thursday. How's that?
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm excited to be here next Thursday to see it. So, Jonathan, in closing, it is now 7 o'clock, and we honor everyone's time and our network. We gave everyone an opportunity to ask any questions. Hopefully, some of the things, some of the experiences will help you to stay on the system. If you have not tried the CBD and all, I read articles this morning about 1 in 5 children today could contemplate suicide.
That's right.
And that is a crazy number. And the anxiety level is even more staggering. 3 out of 5 are now going through massive depressions, and our products address all of these conditions. And we'll talk about that at another time, but it's to help you to appreciate people. People ask me, where do you find your clientele? Look to your right and look to your left. Look to your front, look to your back. Everybody
Everywhere.
out here is suffering some type of anxiety, some type of medical problems and all. And all you need to do is open up your mouth. I'll close my statement with this, Jonathan. I'll let you finish. You can have a lot of good things in your head, but nobody ever know it unless it make it to your mouth. Back to you, Jonathan.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you, Bernard, and cannot echo those words loudly enough. Right now, folks, and next week on Tuesday, we're going to be talking a little bit about what you can do to protect yourself from what's happening right now. There's information coming out about how the what they call SARS-CoV-2 is affecting us, right? COVID-19 is a very real problem. And many people right now are trying to figure out how to get the effects of the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein out of their body. And there's 4 things you can do to do that. going to give you that list of those 4 things and the clinical studies to prove it. Now, Micro Daily is right in the middle of it, but that's going to be part of the discussion for next week. And by the way, CBD is also right there in the middle of it. If you want to be ahead of the game right now, you make sure you call customer service and add Micro Daily. I don't care which one, but make sure you add CBD to your subscription right now. Bernard, guess what? Guess what's back order right now?
I saw it. Actually, 2 of them are
Yeah. But there's something else.
EMF and probiotic.
Yeah, but guess what else is people having trouble getting?
CBD.
Gummies.
Oh yeah. You know, that's the reason why I stocked
You know
up. Why is that?
Because we all stocked up. But just like you just said, we all stocked up, and the company got hit with a wave. I
Wow.
guarantee you right now, folks, they're going to be running out of CBD. I guarantee it. You know, so
Get it before it runs
personally, you just get yours. You know, make sure you get yours right now, because as the word gets out about how valuable it is, it's going to they're going to run short on it. I'm pretty sure of that. So
Yeah, but I heard in 30 days they get a bigger manufacturer to manage. They said they have never had a group like this to get so much product. So it's not a bad thing, people. It tells the company, get ready, because the best is yet to come. We are now soldiers that are out there actually fighting for good health.
That's right.
Thank
That's
you, Jonathan.
right.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you
Thank you,
for letting
Bernard,
me be part
for all
of
that
your
you've done. You've done a phenomenal job, Bernard. And listen,
Thank you.
folks, this coming Sunday, remember,
And Alex.
we're interviewing, yeah, and Alex. We are going to be interviewing Dr. Prasad this coming Sunday. And it's going to be about heart disease. Dr. Prasad has written books on heart health, and he's going to be breaking it down for us. So you want to bring the number 1 killer today. Heart disease is still the number 1 cause of death in this country right now. So bring people that you care about to this meeting this coming Sunday. See you Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern time, everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you,
Thank
Dave.
you, Jonathan.
you. Good night.
Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you. Good night.
You're quite welcome. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Hold on.
Like